Don't get caught in the mosh pit. Fuel to the fire, ain't nobody can stop it. Trouble in my city, but you know I'm across it. Got a 40 on my hip and I'm liable to spark it. Throw down these hits, my click is indivisible. I aim, you duck, I squeeze, now you invisible. I'm not afraid of getting physical. All these different chemicals are fogging up my visuals. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we notorious, we ain't no runners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we some warriors, they ain't called gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Put on my strap, put on the beat, put on the map, put on my team. Take out every motherfucker in between, know what I mean? Better myself, better my aim, better my rap, better my name. Killing rappers on my hang, I'm by their chains for the fame. Never thought I would, and now I'm running. You don't wanna follow me, no matter.
What's going on? What's going on? Good evening and welcome to another broadcast of Steve the Kidney Nurse. I am your host, Steve Belcher. Man, tonight we have an awesome show. Share this broadcast. If you know anyone, anyone that's about to start hemodialysis, they may be in the hospital or they may be in stage 4 or 5 and they just haven't started yet. If you know anyone in that category, or even yourself, if you just started dialysis and you think you may want to change because you're not comfortable with the clinic, this show is for you. And the people we have here tonight, we have an awesome group. Tonight's show, home dialysis, the wave of the future. It's coming. Matter of fact, it's already here. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know about it. And you know why? Because of the lack of kidney disease education. And that's why we here at Steve the Kidney Nurse broadcast and the Urban Health Outreach Media Network and the Warriors Quest show and Hope with Bella and Kidney Stories with Uncle Jim. That's what we're trying to accomplish here, is getting that information disseminated all over the world, that anyone, wherever they at, can apply this information and knowledge and education to wherever they at undergoing kidney disease or hemodialysis. So let me tell you who we got here tonight joining this discussion. It's an all-star cast, okay? We have Tom Venuto, all right, dialysis RN, BSN nurse, been doing this pretty much over 25 years or more. I could be wrong. It could be longer. I think 30 years. He's the co-founder of Primo Healthcare Service. We have his partner, founder, Sharice Venuto. Now, that last name may be wrong, and she'll correct me once she comes on. She's here as well. And then we have kidney warrior and home dialysis patient to share his story, Eric Gonzalez. This is going to be great. These guys do a show every Friday morning. They're going to talk about that, and they're just going to talk about the benefits and the advantages of doing home dialysis. But before I bring them on, let me just give you a little taste about home dialysis. So there's two types. You got hemo, and then you got peritoneal dialysis, okay? Now, since the executive order, there has been a big push for home hemodialysis. Currently, about 88% of patients with ESRD receive in-center treatment, and about 12% receive home dialysis. And I read an article from the New York Times. They're trying to push an executive order by 2025. I don't think this is going to happen, but they're trying to push for 80% of patients on outpatient hemodialysis to go home. Now, that's a lot. That's a lot of patients. You got over 700,000 suffering from this disease. So let's bring on our guests. Let's talk about it. If you got any comments, please post them. We would love to hear them. So without further ado, let me give them the VIP intro. Tom Venuto, Sharice, and kidney warrior Eric Gonzalez. Hey guys and gals, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. How's everyone this evening?
Fantastic.
Doing awesome.
So, introduce yourselves, starting with Tom.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Tom. I'm a registered nurse, 28 years in dialysis. I'm a co-founder of Primo Healthcare Services.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sharice. I'm the CEO of Primo Healthcare Services.
I'm Eric Gonzalez. I'm a warrior just like you, suffering from the disease. Been on treatment for 6 years plus.
Okay, so Eric, you said you've been on dialysis 6 years plus.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great, man. Thank everyone for joining us this evening. And like I said, the conversation is home hemodialysis, the wave of the future. Now, Tom, let's just start with you. How long have you actually been doing dialysis as a registered nurse?
Yeah, it's a great question, Steve. So I've actually been a registered nurse since 2004, and I've been in dialysis for 28 years.
You said 28?
28 years in dialysis. I graduated as a registered nurse 2004. I ended up getting my bachelor's degree 2017, and I've been an entrepreneur since I was probably in 2006 when I formed my first dialysis staffing agency company.
Okay, awesome. So you was a dialysis technician when you started out?
Yes, sir. I actually started out stock for the dialysis in the hospital. That was my department. I ended up working there for 4 months. And then I became a dialysis orderly, where I'd go up, grab the patients from the room, bring them back down, weigh them, make bicarb, help during any codes or emergencies. I did that for 6 months, and then I became a dialysis technician for 10 years and went right on into nursing and continued to go to school, further my education. Got my bachelor's degree 2017, and now entrepreneur all the way. and we're learning some great stuff in this field, as well as we have some private coaches and mentors as well that helps us out. Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson, if anybody's heard of them. So we do a little bit of sales and marketing as well in our organization.
Okay. So let me ask you, what made you decide to direct your business to helping patients with home hemodialysis?
So I just got tired of watching the lack of information from the organizations informing the patients. I learned early on that this is a money-making business, and that we have to bring back the focus on the patients and not so much on the funding. I see a lot of organizations prefer just to keep the patients in the center. Then it'll give us time to teach them, train them. So I don't blame any of the staff. I just blame the organizations for just not giving us adequate time to really educate the patients like we should. And, I saw a need that was there. Donald Trump signed that executive order, 2025, like you said, 80% of patients going home or transplanted. Currently, CMS has lowered the number to 50%, which I find to be a little upset about, because instead of lowering the target, we should always increase our actions to accomplish our targets. So I think it was a lazy way out, but right now they're at 50% is the current number.
Okay. So, Tom, tell us exactly, I know your company does multiple services, but when it comes to home hemodialysis, can you tell us exactly what Primo Healthcare does for patients who would like to do home dialysis?
Yeah, so we offer pretty much a one-stop shop in the home dialysis aspect, where if somebody's in a hospital, we can help set up their dialysis for them. We can do the whole transition from in-center to home. We can actually handle your supplies for you. All you have to do is sign over your proxy. We can handle your supplies. So if you don't have enough space, we got that handled. If you don't have a care partner, we can provide a care partner. And, we do everything from watching how the setup goes for your water hookup, your drain hookup, your supplies, you're ordering it, ordering your chair, you're getting your machine on time. And we do everything from initiating treatment, handling emergencies, ending treatment, and as far as even taking the trash out as we leave.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Eric, so you've been on dialysis 6 years.
6+ years, yes.
6+ years. Okay. Now, when did you decide to transition to home dialysis, home hemo?
Well, when I first got diagnosed with the disease, I did my research, and I know there was a home therapy out there. So I picked manual at first. Then I went to the cycler.
Okay.
Then I was in the center for about 3 months. Then from there, I went to the home hemo.
Okay. Okay. Now, were you doing the treatments, or you had another care partner before you met Mr. Venuto?
Well, I was doing the treatment myself with the manual and the cycler.
Right. That was the peritoneal, but I'm talking about with the hemo.
Oh, with the hemo, it was my wife at first.
Okay.
And then I found Primo Healthcare, and that's where I met Tom.
Okay. How have you been satisfied with their service?
Oh, absolutely, hands down, 100%.
Mm-hmm. So explain to the audience exactly what Mr. Venuto does, or his staff, because I've seen a video where there was another gentleman there doing the treatment, and Mr. Venuto was filming. But share with us exactly, from the time they ring your doorbell and you let them in, what are their responsibilities for your treatment?
Well, I guess I'm a different breed. I like to take control of my treatment. So I'm setting the machine up myself, priming it. And when time comes in, he's checking my status, checking my fistula,
Okay.
inserting the needles, and he's just watching the machine.
So is he taking your blood pressure and your vital signs like your temperature and all that and your weight before you go on? How much fluid is being removed? Who
Yeah.
decides that?
Like I said, I'm a different breed. I take control of all of that.
Okay.
I weigh myself every half hour. I get the blood pressure taken, and that's gets recorded onto my Apple iPad.
Okay. So you're supplied with a iPad to help you document your treatments.
Yes.
And a facility where you learn this this process showed you how to do that. So if someone wanted to do that, they say I'm not computer literate. Is it user friendly for someone who maybe haven't worked with an iPad before?
Oh, yes. I mean, the only thing you actually documented in there is your blood pressure, your weight gain, your weight loss, and everything else is already programmed inside there already.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you, where do you know where this information goes to? That the information that you're storing into this iPad, does it go to a central location?
Yes, it goes to my primary nurse, and she checks it, and then she I guess it sends it to next stage itself.
Okay. Okay, great, great. Hey, Sharice, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, you being the CEO of Primo Healthcare, um, just from your opinion, what have been some of the uh, disadvantages you notice with this type of service up in the New Jersey area and the surrounding country when it comes to home dialysis? What have you noticed
You said
being a disadvantage? Yes.
advantages? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
absolutely. So with home dialysis, the patients are definitely have more freedom, have their choice. And with in-center dialysis, you don't really have that freedom and choice because you're going there every time you have that treatment. Whereas where you're in home, you have all the freedom you want. You can spend time with your family and everything like that.
Wow. Um, Tom, how many patients are you working with now at home?
Yeah, so right now we have about 12 clients that we're working on.
Wow.
They are here in our office is in New Jersey. We do go anywhere in the nation, but we're just getting this vertical started up and running. And so we have patients here, Delaware, and Pennsylvania as well.
So since you were on broadcast, I believe last year, excuse me, not even a year ago, and you really increased your census.
Yeah, so the past probably 3 months, our census has jumped. I believe now because we have the ears of some of the big companies, some of their home hemo program managers. They're hearing our service we offer. They're starting to get the patients sent over to us on referrals. But I do see the majority of them are still pushing for PD at home versus the home hemo because of the inability for everybody to have a care partner. So this is again the space that I saw that we can help out in the community by providing care partners. And we don't we do charge a price, but hey, I don't let money get in the way of taking care of somebody. If they want to go home, we make it happen. And again, we do from Eric's case to patients who are on a ventilator. If the family member wants them home and dialyze them, we do that. So, we really have no limits on what we can do for the patients at home.
Absolutely. If you're watching this broadcast, please share it so maybe someone whose parent or loved one just started dialysis and they don't know what to do and they want to do home dialysis, something different because of transportation or whatever may have gotten in the way to prevent them from taking them 3 days a week. Tom, it's true that home dialysis isn't right for everyone. And with that being said, what if you had a family member that had a senior with bad eyesight or poor fine motor coordination, depression, or cognitive impairment? Do y'all work with those type of patients?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, if the individual is not able to get up out of bed, if they're blind, or have any sort of where they would feel they're disadvantaged or disqualified for home dialysis, I recommend that they reach out to us because we will provide the complete care with the next stage machine. From if you don't want to know anything about the machine, you just want to go home and have dialysis and let somebody else handle it, we can do that. Eric's case, he likes to know about his machine. He likes to know about what's going on. He's taking control of this, right? So he's been doing this for 6 years, and he's been trained with home. And but not everybody's like that. So if you are out there and you are interested, you have a loved one that you're concerned with the weather changing, being out in the snow, the rain, that doesn't have to be. You can have dialysis at home. Now's the time to go home with this whole push for it. It's a pivot that's happening in the facilities. The government's getting involved with it. There's new machines that are getting like a certification for them to be able to go home that shows that they are having a better treatment at home. And, it's now is the time to make this happen. And there shouldn't be anything really holding anybody back. Because I'm telling you, if there's an excuse, I'm going to take it away from you, because I've heard the space is the issue. I've heard it's not having a care partner, but you know what? We can handle all that, and we can ease you into learning how to use this machine. So even the timing, we take the timing out from being trained because our staff already signed off. So we can technically take somebody from a long-term acuity care facility or a skilled nursing facility and transition them to home before they're even discharged.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Eric.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind me asking your age, what is your age?
I am the big 50 years old.
Oh, you don't even look it. I swear.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I thought maybe you was going to say somewhere between 30 and 40. I really thought you was.
Oh, you just made my day.
Yeah, seriously, man. Seriously. But with that being said, we see a lot of people coming on dialysis around that age bracket. Do you ever kind of wonder why there's not so many people doing home dialysis, getting the benefits that you're getting being at home, not having to go out in the inclement weather? If you want to eat, you can, I'm not going to say eat what you want, but, there's a debate whether, and Tom probably know about this debate on whether patients should eat on a machine or not. But with that being said, you being at home, you can snack whenever you want, opposed to being at the clinic, and unless you bring something with you, they may or may not let you eat. But have you ever, with all these benefits that you get with being at home in the comfort of your own home, do you ever wonder to yourself why there's not more people doing this at home that could possibly do it? Because I know a lot of people probably say it looks hard, but talk about that if you ever thought about that to yourself.
Well, I can sum it up with two things. One thing is the patient has to be educated. They got to do their own research about it. The second is the centers have to promote home therapy much, much more. I mean, when I went in the center, I didn't know nothing about home therapy until I did my own research about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part to your question is about how hard is the machine is. You before you even transition from the center to home, you get a 2-week to 3-week training inside the center with your nurse and your care partner there. And then you have 1 week at home with your nurse because you want to be completely satisfied if you are doing the right procedures or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day's machine is usually friendly. I mean, everything is color coordinated. You really can't make a mistake on there.
Right. Yeah, that's how it is with most dialysis supplies. In that right time, red to red, blue to blue.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And they add a few colors, but it's still the same concepts for sure.
Oh, absolutely. So, Eric, you said you would think it takes determination to do this at home.
Determination. It takes determination and I guess determination and, as you said before, home therapy isn't for everybody. We're not going to put yourself through the diet as you was taught, and what you can do and what you aren't allowed to eat, and your water intake. Home dialysis is not going to work for you. So you got to put as much effort into it as possible. I mean, this is your life we're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. Can the training be demanding time for patients to learn this?
Yeah, so it just depends. I mean, there's no shortcuts in the machine, so they really foolproof the machine. And again, I've been doing dialysis for 20 years, so I know a lot of different machines. And this one, you really can't make a shortcut on it, so it's very hard to make a error or a mistake. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I find remarkable about this machine is how every 30 minutes it does a 2-minute testing inside the machine. And during this 2 minutes, the dialysate is turned off. And what that is allowing for your body to do is adapt and readjust to a refilling of the fluid being removed from you. So you have less chances of being nauseous, less chances of low blood pressure, less chances of passing out or having any type of cramping or issues, because every 30 minutes, this machine will bypass for 2 minutes. And during that 2 minutes, your body refills with the fluid so that you can continue having a uneventful treatment. So if those who've been on dialysis remember the crit line and the crit machine, this is doing something very similar, except for it doesn't let you get to the certain number where there's an issue. It actually prevents it by every 30 minutes doing a bypass for your treatment. And yes, this does add on a few minutes to your treatment, but the safety alone is a 10x. So the safety alone is something really remarkable about this machine. It's got my approval. But I am looking at the outset tableau to see how we can do a comparison as well. But right now, Next Stage has my approval, and that's non-biased. That's just working and seeing how easy it is for the patients and for the users to work on.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, Tom, let me ask you, what if someone was watching this broadcast right now and they had a parent, say 80 years old, and it was their son or daughter, and they wanted their parent to do home dialysis, and the parent was frail, but healthy enough to do home dialysis? What would be the process for them? Would they have to go in and learn it, and you're there? How does that work if they want you to be the care partner for their 80-year-old mother?
Let's see. It's a great question. Appreciate that. So the way it works is once the patient identifies a care partner, where if it's myself or somebody else, we can actually go in. I'll speak on myself end of this. where if we go in, and we just had this happen recently with a patient, we go in and the patient doesn't want anything to do with the machine, but we still go and get signed off by the home hemo nurse. Your nephrologist stays the same. Your dialysis clinic stays the same. You're still going to need to do monthly visits there, or if the patient's unable, the nephrologist would have to go to the house and do a house call. But we could do the complete training from the home hemo nurse. We get signed off. We're safe. We're confident. We're able to do treatment at home. We'll then go home and do one or two treatments at home. They'll recognize the same thing, that you're safe, that you're confident, you can do this machine, and the patient doesn't even have to get involved. Just had this happen, the same scenario you just described. And again, it's holidays, and being at home, you get to be around your friends. You don't have to worry about people coming visiting you and you turn them away because you're in the center. It's really made a difference on that. And same thing with pets. I got patients that have dogs. Obviously, we keep them away during treatment. But it does, the machines and all, they don't even take up a lot of space. It's a chair and a machine. And I always like to put in the video a comparison between the fish tank and the machine, because they're not much of a difference in size.
Okay, got you. Now, Eric, let me ask you, how long does it take for you to gather your supplies and just to get everything set up for treatment?
Gather my supplies and set up treatment with priming would be like 23 minutes. Now, the priming aspect of that is to be make sure there's no air inside the tubes whatsoever.
Okay.
And after your priming takes place, I wait for my man Tom to come over. Okay.
And then once he gets over there, you're pretty much ready to go, be cannulated. Do you clean your own arm, or does Tom does that?
Oh, but myself. When I set up the treatment is 3 hours and 45 minutes. But as Tom was talking about, it'll be a half hour. That leaves the time to 4 hours maximum.
Okay.
So I'm doing 4 hours with 60 liters of fluid.
Okay. So, Tom, you actually are there when Eric does his treatment. You have to be there. Is there any time where there's no one there with Eric, or the treatment have to be rescheduled?
Well, if Eric wants to reschedule the treatment, that's fine. We work together on that. Same thing. If I need to get to the facility or something a little bit early, I might ask Eric to just start the treatment a little bit early. But never, ever, ever is Eric alone at any time. We're there the 100% the whole time, and but we work on our schedule together. We collaborate together on what works best for him, and if there's ever anything that comes up, I dedicate my time with the business and with taking care of Eric and a few other patients, just to keep my foot in the game. And, I really enjoy the impact that we make together, especially even on our Friday shows, the ENT show, Let's Go Home. So, that's a great avenue for us to be able to communicate with the community, get them out there, get them knowledge, how to get home, how to transition. And again, we do everything from that initiate, the conversation to, taking the trash out. So, but never will he ever be alone.
I mean, if I can add on that is, home therapy, you make the therapy on your time. That's the great point about home therapy, is you do it when you want to do it. If I have something to do one day and I do have treatment, I can always do it the next day.
Another thing too there, Steve. So we had a couple patients that we're only thinking about dialysis Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 2 or 3 shifts, right? But now the idea comes in where we have a patient, he can't work during his days. He has dialysis. So what we agreed to do is dialyze him at night. So now that opened him up to 2 more days during the weekday he can pick up and work and continue to make extra money.
Wow. So it's something I know a lot of patients probably want to know about, the cost. How is that handled since Medicare doesn't pay for care partners? How is that pretty much handled, Tom?
Yeah, so we end up working with insurance companies. We also work with worker comp companies, and we also work with the VA, and the rest will be out-of-pocket expenses. So right now there is a bill that's being introduced to help pay for staff assists / care partners, but that's not out yet. But for the meantime, like we said, we don't let money get in the way. If you want to go home, we're going to make that happen. It's more satisfying for us at this point in my life, in my career, and in our organization to just help people and help the community. And, I'm just tired of having everybody stuck in a facility, feeling the depressed state of, I'm stuck to this machine. This machine that we have can actually give you control, can give you freedom, like you want to believe, but you got to get your mindset right in that, so that and maybe by us showing the community how you can have an adventure even with the machine, that's what we're geared up to do. So we're going to take our dialysis, on RV. We're going to show you how you can do your dialysis anywhere that you want to go, from a vacation to going out fishing. So, this is a way that you can do it, but it takes a mindset and a creativity to go along with it. So, we want to get the positive mind flow going on everybody.
Absolutely. You're welcome, Robin Williams. Thank you for watching the show. Robin Williams thanked me for bringing this important topic, which it is a very important topic that a lot of patients don't know about. As Eric mentioned, he didn't find out in the beginning. So this is very important. We just need for the people to watch and share so other people who may be dealing with this situation could see the show. Now, Tom, you mentioned a venture. Speaking of that, what if you have a person that's on home dialysis and they want to travel out of town? How is that situated? Like if they want to go to a family reunion, or they used to travel prior to dialysis and they want to continue to travel, and maybe they gotten a little older. How is your service and all that combined into that? Do you work around that?
Yeah, so we can actually travel with the individual. There's a whole process of how you can travel, from contacting the facility, getting the suitcase to put the next stage machine in. Eric can fill in with how to get the supplies. But I know your machine comes along as a medical device. You get a letter, so you don't pay for that any airfare cost on that for luggage fees. And some of the other supplies, I believe, Eric, they get shipped right out.
Yes.
So you'll take your gauze, your needles, things of that nature. But any of the hanging bags is what it's called. That gets called into next stage, and you get an address, and everything gets shipped out to there. So you can bring your needles, your dialyzer, your gloves, and your machine with you, and we can dialyze anywhere. You don't, with the next stage machine. I want to put this out there too. You don't need a water supply hookup. So if we wanted to go out in the desert and dialyze in the desert, we can, because the hanging bags actually has all the electrolytes and everything inside, where you don't need a water supply. So it's great for, if there's a disaster zone area, all you'll need is a power. So
that's what I was going to ask you. Out in the desert, where are you going to get the electricity from? Unless you have a generator?
Yeah, so right now we're trying to work a deal out with Ford where we can get their new Lightning truck. So I've been putting out a challenge to them to see if their Lightning truck can provide life sustaining electricity. So that's the challenge I got out to Ford. So because we want to do traveling like that where we can dialyze anywhere.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Now, Eric, can you share with us a time maybe that you were glad that you were doing dialysis at home? Is there any story like inclement weather or an incident where you said, I'm glad that I was able to be at home to do dialysis?
Well,
Are there any of those moments?
I think you just summed it up with the whole thing. Not depending on transportation is one thing. Not going outside when it's freezing cold in the wintertime. And the big thing is, I could pick my treatment days. If I have something to do on a certain day, I can always do it the next day. You got to take control of your treatment. It's all about freedom.
Steve, I'm going to add in there, dialyzing Eric here is a one-on-one. This isn't the one of many patients I got to care for. So my attention's 100% on Eric. And even we did a video on November 5th that everything that could go wrong went wrong with the machine, to a power failure, to not having the right cord to improvise. And, we had all that recorded and documented, but, it was one of the great things was having an extra set of eyes, because what I found, he wouldn't have been able to find on his own. And that was a water leak that was hidden behind one of the doors that I happened to pick up on, knowing how systematic Eric is and I am on doing our process, that when there was water exposed, it didn't make sense. And of course, we listened to our nursing intuition, and we ended up discovering it, fixed it, and then found out we actually have a compromised system. So that was something that you couldn't do on your own. And again, that's something that gets reported back to next stage. You report it back to your home hemo nurse, and everybody gets involved. We end up sending the actual package back to next stage so that they can do some more quality control.
Mm-hmm. Tom, Jonathan, host of Hope with Jonathan, y'all tune into that. He's every Tuesday, I believe. But he said talk with Tesla about what you was talking to Ford about.
Yeah, appreciate that, Jonathan. I will.
Yeah. So, Cherie, I wasn't going to let you stay quiet for long. No, Cherie, I understand that Tom and Eric do a morning show or pretty much an education show every Friday morning. Tell us the reason for that show.
Yeah, absolutely. We do that show every Friday at 9:30 9:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time each Friday, to be able to inform the patients of the benefits of dialysis, of home dialysis. And it's just so fulfilling and so impactful to be able to impact more people in dialysis and transition to home, because home dialysis improves you psychologically, mentally, and spiritually as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, if someone wanted to see that, where can they go to watch that education?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can see it at our Facebook page, Primo Healthcare Services, and we also have a new group, PHS Home Dialysis.
Oh, okay. Primo Healthcare, PHS Home Dialysis.
Yes, PHS Care Partners Home Dialysis.
Oh, okay. And what's the purpose of that group?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's to bring together more patients and transition to home as well.
Wow. Tom, I mean, this is great, man, because there's nothing out there like that. It may be a home dialysis group out there. I don't know, but I mean, when it comes to what you're talking about, care partners and putting the focus on the care partners to make this all happen, I mean, there's really not a lot of organizations out there that are doing this. Is that correct?
No, as far as I know, we're the only ones, at least here in the Northeast. But I just bring it back to it's service, right? So we need to service the patients, and we need to bring them home. So they can't get the service that they deserve dialyzing in the clinics. It's just too much of a hustle there, and there's been too many excuses of why you can't go home. And to me, I see you got the excuse, I'm going to solve it. So you want to go home, I'm going to make sure you get there.
Absolutely. Said I, been in dialysis for a while, and I mean, just like you, I've seen that disparity of lack of information given to patients and misinformation about not going home so they can keep their revenue in the facility. But at the end of the day, it all goes in the same pot. I just think it comes to greed when you prevent someone from exercising all the options that they have for treatment, and you want to keep them inside the outpatient facility. So, Eric, what do you want people watching right now who may be possibly getting ready to start dialysis that's able to do fully functional and able to do it, but they just can't make up their mind of what treatment option, or maybe they're on dialysis and they're watching this and they had that opportunity to go home and they're on the fence. What do you want them to know what you experienced on home dialysis?
Well, on dialysis, as I first mentioned, I did all three of them. And I can tell you the pros and cons about each one of them. And home hemo is something that if a patient in center is considering and they kind of nervous, just watch videos about it. Ask your nurse, pick up, go on the web, find out information about it. It really isn't that hard. I mean, when I found out I want to do home hemo, I was kind of nervous too. Nervous about what if. I mean, what if can happen in centers also,
Absolutely. You're right about that.
And I always said, what I mentioned last Friday when I did my video, try home hemo. If you don't like it, you can always go back in the center. But at least you tried it.
Right. Good point there. Good point. Because if you never tried it, you won't never know.
Absolutely. And the way that the next stage makes you feel when you come off the machine is totally different than in centers.
Talk about that for a minute. That's very important. Talk about that, because a lot of people mention that they may go in center and run 3.5 hours, taking off 3 to 4 liters of fluid, and they're wiped out afterwards. They go home, they got to lay down, and they don't feel the same way until the next day. But share with us how you feel after having the treatment with the next stage machine.
Oh, the next stage compared to in center, I was one of those patients in center coming home, and the first thing I wanted to do was just rest, because it was like running a marathon. And the next stage machine is so gently on you. After my 4 hours of treatment, I am ready to go. Tiredness is the last thing on my mind. But the last thing on my mind. I mean, as soon as you get off the machine, it doesn't even feel like you actually had treatment that day.
Really?
Yeah. And
I guess the only thing you probably feel is maybe the needle, huh?
Oh, that's the biggest hiccup right there is the needle. But But
Wow.
during treatment and after treatment, man, it's like apples and oranges, man.
And I agree with you 100%. Because the treatment is much slower, much gentle.
Right.
I can't express enough how home dialysis benefits patient on dialysis way more than outpatient hemo. But like we said in the discussion, not everyone is able to go home and do it. But if you're able to do it, you at least owe it to yourself to
just try it.
Try this. Yes. And and unfortunately, I've seen a person seen a person retire. They had their own business and they kind of gave it up because they didn't know that they could do home dialysis. They didn't find out until the last minute after everything done. I've seen many patients quit their job because they couldn't. This is another disadvantage of going to the unit. If you're working, okay, and if you need to change your shift, if you need to say if you they want you to come in the evening and at dialysis, but you work in the evening or you work in the day, you got to be at work at 8 and your chair time is in the morning. Either way, you got patients who go to work and then come to dialysis or go to dialysis and then go to work. Right. And the second, go to dialysis, go to work, I would think would be the most hardest, getting a rigorous treatment like that and then have to go and spend 8 to 10 more hours at work, opposed to you go to work all day, then you can come home, whether it's in a clinic or at home, and do your treatment and go to bed instead of going to the clinic and then got to wait to stop bleeding and then drive home from the clinic to right. It's just too much.
Yes, it is.
And that was one of the things that it was hard for me to adjust to. Steve was seeing Eric get up right after treatment, and he's like ready to go. I'm like thinking like, is this guy going to rest for a little bit? And he was ready to go every time. It took me a while to get used to that. I'm not used to seeing that coming from the clinics.
Mm-hmm. So, Tom, you mentioned, I know the time is winding down, but you mentioned about supplies that Primo is able to take care of that. Now, so you're saying, okay, I know you're in New Jersey. I don't want to put you in a hard spot, but are you able to do that for people, say someone that may live in Virginia or maybe outside of New Jersey who may have a small apartment and they don't have a lot of space? Do you do any recommendations from afar for patients who may not be kind of near and dear to you or close by?
Absolutely, Steve. So we actually, what we'll do is we'll get somebody local to you, to where the patient's at, and they will be the ones that will have the supplies, and they will be the ones that show up every day. So that obviously the logistics on that have to be make sense and
sure.
Where they're going. Yeah. So, but it's not a problem. It's just a different concept of servicing people. Mm-hmm. So, that's why I want to bring back as a service in the healthcare.
Absolutely. So as we get ready to close, Tom, I want to give you the floor. Just let our audience and the people watching what you want them to know about Primo Healthcare Service and home dialysis.
Thanks, Steve. So, my goal here, my purpose is to help promote kidney failure awareness and kidney exchange. And I want everybody to know that you have a right, an option, and a choice to go home and have your dialysis. And this does not mean that you have to go do PD. So you don't need a care partner, but if you want one, we're here to help you if you need a care partner. And we think you should go home, at least try it out, to let yourself be exposed to this ability to dialyze at home. So a lot of people have fear right now. This is the time and opportunity where you have to lean into your fear, because that's how you grow as a person, is you end up leaning into your fear. And when you conquer that fear, your belief lid goes higher. So we encourage you to go home, give us a call, transition to facility to home. We can answer all those questions. If you want to hear it on a patient side, you can hear it from Eric. He's more than willing to help you as well. And we just know that home dialysis is the future, and there's no reason why you have to get up early, try to catch a bus or transportation to go home in the weather, or have your loved ones do that, your parents or anybody, when you can just do this dialysis at home. The holidays are coming up. Spend time at home. There's no COVID in your home. There's no dirty environments in your home. It's your own flora, your own bacteria. So you're not exposed to anything that you don't bring in there yourself. So I just think everybody should give it a try. Worst case scenario. And if you got any questions, hands down, give us a call. Let us know. Eric.
Hands down. One thing I want to piggyback off of Tom's thing is you're using your machine and your chair. Nobody else is using that. So there's cross-contamination is very low. That's one of the benefits of using the next stage home therapy. It's your machine and your chair. And if anybody's out there who's has questions of dialysis, either PD, manual, or home hemo, or even in the center, just give me a call, Eric Gonzalez.
Are you on Facebook?
Yes, Eric Gonzalez on Facebook. My email address is Gonzo here, GONZOHERE at Comcast.net.
Okay, Gonzo here at Comcast.net.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sharice, what day again and time is the education show with Tom and Eric?
Yes. So it's going to be every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that's on the Primo Healthcare Service webpage. Facebook page. On the
Facebook as well. And our group, PHS Care Partners Home Dialysis. It's going to be in both channels.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Let me get myself up.
We didn't want to get jammed up posting some of the other Facebook pages, so we went ahead and transitioned. We think this content's really high quality for the patients in the community. So that was our decision to do that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Tom, Sharice, and Eric, I want to thank each of you for coming on, Steve, the kidney nurse, and sharing your opinion and information on home dialysis in the future and Primo Healthcare. And Eric, thank you so much for sharing your story and experience with the next stage. And we definitely wish you much success. Are you on the transplant list?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, we got to get you back on. We have a show every Wednesday called the Warriors Quest Show with Jared A. Brown, where we highlight kidney warriors looking for a living donor transplant.
Right. Okay. All right.
So just, I have your information, your email, and I'll forward it to, Jared. And, hopefully we can get you on before or right after the new year.
Oh, it's beautiful. And to take the time out to thank you for having the show and having us on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, Tom. Again, this is Tom and Sharice's second appearance, and we hope we can get you on again in the future, Tom. Really close future, and possibly doing different segments on what can go wrong at home dialysis and how to correct it, and just different education segments that are normally done quarterly at the unit, which can be transferred into shows like this to get that information out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We really appreciate everything you do for the community as well. And, it's our honor to be here sharing this content information with everybody in the community.
All right, man. So again, Tom Venuto, co-founder of Primo Healthcare, Sharice, CEO, Primo Healthcare Service, and Kidney Warrior, home dialysis patient, Eric Gonzalez. Thank you guys for coming on, and we'll be talking with you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right,
Let's
take
go
care.
home.
Let's go home. That's our
Yeah, I like that. All right, guys, take care.
Nice, buddy.
Stay
All
great.
right, bye-bye. So, guys, this was an awesome show. I mean, I want to thank everyone who tuned in tonight to watch this show, and hope that it may make a decision if you're on the fence of doing home dialysis. Also, if you just started dialysis, don't forget, check out my new book, okay? Hot off the press, How to Survive Outpatient Hemodialysis, a guide for patients with kidney failure. It's available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but you can go to my site at StephenLBelcher.com. That's www.StephenLBelcher.com and make that purchase. So, guys, again, share this broadcast. Tune in every Wednesday for the Warriors Quest show with Jared A. Brown. I'll probably see you sometime next week, maybe next weekend, for another fantastic show. So, guys, take care. Stay safe in this COVID world and stay blessed. See you soon. Peace.
Warriors around, don't get caught in the mosh pit. Fuel to the fire, ain't nobody can stop it. Trouble in my city, but you know I'm across it. Got a 40 on my hip and I'm liable to spark it. Throw down these hits, my click is indivisible. I aim, you duck, I squeeze, now you invisible. I'm not afraid of getting physical. All these different chemicals are fogging up my visuals. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we notorious, we ain't no runners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Yo, we some warriors, they ain't called gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Bloods on my hands, got slugs on my gunners. Put on my strap, put on the beat, put on the map, put on my team. Take out every motherfucker in between, know what I mean? Better myself, better my aim, better my rep, better my name. Killing rappers on my hang, I'm by their chains for the fame. Never thought I would, and now I'm running.